quickly on YouTube, etc. Okay, live on YouTube. Let me pop out this chat. Live on TikTok. Okay, we're also live on TikTok. Let me check my phone here. Yep, live on TikTok, looks good. All right. Just give it a sec for people to come in. I'm assuming bot already pinged. Okay, Discord looks good. As usual, I'm gonna look at events chat. Lions is gonna mod the YouTube and TikTok chat. Great. Yeah, Lions, if you're here on TikTok, just send me a ping and I'll give you. Actually, I don't know if I can give you a mod through this. Actually, it's kind of, yeah, I'm not sure if I can. Just stick to YouTube mod for this time, because when I streamed screen cap, I don't actually have my account logged in. But anyways, no worries there. Yeah, so, oh yeah, screen share on Discord. Good call, Julian. Yeah, screen share on Discord. Screen one, go live. Here we go. All right, everyone. Welcome to our weekly BaconDAO Community Call. This is, I think, number 3 or 4, given our new format that is multi-stream to everywhere. Thanks for being here as usual. Viper, could you just actually, no, it doesn't matter. You're first on anyways. So as usual, every week we do a live stream on all of our socials and with a focus on our Discord, the BaconDAO Discord. And this is also live right now on YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, and all of our audiences. We will have a all together Q&A at the end to go over any of your questions. But before that, we have a regularly scheduled program led by our team of contributors. Today we have a total of 8 topics. We have BSC overview, Polkadot overview, events regarding BaconDAO for the week. We have Crypto 101. Currents is going to give a kind of potential bear market overview. American Crypto Wiz going over low cap and layer 2 stuff. We have Wunka doing usual Bitcoin Ethereum deep dive. And then I'll do a quick update on my side regarding trades I'm watching, as well as BaconDAO updates. So yeah, with that said, settle in everyone and let me know if sound is all good, but I see no complaints. So let's get started. First off, we have Viper with BSC chat and overall BSC breakdown for the week. So let me just bring up the slides while you talk so I can show the content that you're presenting as well. Yeah, Viper, just come online.
How's it going, everybody? Well, just to start off, I know the past couple of weeks we've been talking about a lot of flash loan attacks, but fortunately this week, to my knowledge, there have not been any extraordinary flash loan attacks, so that's good news. Also, Binance has really emphasized NFTs right now. They've been doing a lot of Q&As, YouTube live streams, promoting NFT markets, and as you guys know, there are a couple NFT markets that are being launched soon. NFTV is one that's been on my radar for months, and I know a lot of these NFT projects are seem like they're vaporware or they take forever to launch. And I know this is not a BSC example, but NFT tech has been taking a while. But you got to understand that a lot of these projects are delayed because of the market, because of your favorite person, Elon, tweeting stupid things. And so the market's been wishy-washy right now. And so launching a lot of these projects, but I'm really happy to see that Binance and CZ have made full-fledged efforts to really promote the NFT market. So that's great. Also, Binance has hosted a hackathon called Decentralized Africa, and it's happening June 7th to June 28th. The reason why I really wanted to mention that is that's a great way to follow new teams, new projects, venture capitalists, etc. And so that's another way to find some gems. And actually Duke has mentioned a lot of this as well. You can find a project that's talked about or whatever, and then follow who's following them, and then just kind of get alpha that way. So that's another way we try to look for gems to post. Also in the news, we saw KickPad. As you guys have seen, their price action has been pretty trash lately. I think they ended up going below 10 cents. They made a new announcement that they have a new game plan. They're no longer going to be a simple IDO platform. Actually, they said they're not going to be an IDO platform at all. The cool thing is they're going cross-chain, which, as you guys have noticed, everyone on BSC is now going cross-chain with, Polygon and all the L2s. And so, of course, that being said, I've been trying to educate myself on other projects for other chains. So if you notice me in other channels as well, I've picked up that responsibility as well. But here's the weird thing: they mentioned that instead of doing an IDO, they're going to do airdrops, where I guess they'll talk about qualifications later, but essentially, I believe you just have to hold their token, and instead of purchasing, private sales at a certain price, now you're going to get airdrops for free. So I don't know what to think about this, because as you guys may or may not know, experience at least, only somewhat sketchy projects / not super big projects do airdrops, because who wants to give out, their token for free? And I hate airdrops, because that just means if I'm a legit, there are millions of tokens out there waiting to be dumped on me. And so I really don't like that. I'm really not bullish on KickPad. I myself am not going to get looped back into that. Lost a lot of money on KickPad. But that was just basically the news on that.
Okay.
We also mentioned Bob Tool. Yeah, go ahead. We also mentioned Bob.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
We also mentioned Bob Tools last week, that they had a compensation plan going, and basically they were another victim of the flash loan attack, and so they finally launched their new token. Yes, of course it pumped because the new token was released. But once again, when you get airdropped something, you always see, token prices dump. I guess the good thing is their new token passed an audit by TechRate, but TechRate, I believe they're a free auditing company, and I don't know. I mean, Certic is by far the best, but once again, as I mentioned many times, audit sure adds some credibility, but even with a Certic audit, you can still get rugged on. We've seen Venus also have some great APYs on stablecoins and BNB specifically. They posted a post-mortem report, which indicated that the recent event causing the price of XVS to plummet was not an insider attack and other things like that. PancakeSwap had the largest burn ever last week, $105 million burnt in one day. We see True USD being really popular lately. I like them. I don't hold any TUSD, just because things like BUSD are more widely used, but I like them because they claim to be truly backed one-to-one with cash. And I don't know, but USDT is notorious for not doing that. They hold other assets, and as you know, they had a court case. They
So
also
TUSD
Pancake
is the Tron, also the Tron's project, right? If I'm
It's I thought it was True USD. It was another stable coin.
Yeah, it is another stablecoin. I've seen, like, I think some of the Tron farms use it. I'm not sure, but yeah, but go ahead.
That
Yeah.
would make sense. Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, I'm very skeptical on using other stable coins that are not widely used. I mean, I don't know how often people use True USD, but it was interesting to see that they claim to be truly one to one ratio.
Mm-hmm.
PancakeSwap also executed an adjustment to farm rewards. So you'll see on the syrup pool that APYs have been adjusted. What they said they did was they redirected rewards from low and farms with excess liquidity to key farms with low rewards, and to make room for more new syrup pools. As you know, they pretty much launch a new syrup pool every day. Swamp, for those of you still in Swamp, they added a new LP feature. It's kind of cool. You can literally add LP in the click of a button. Beefy Finance, they also boosted their stablecoin pools. As you'll notice, a lot of these yield aggregators will boost their APYs for stablecoin during a really weird market, which is nice to see. But as I've noticed, the boosted farms on Beefy don't last. So if it's not a boosted one, then it should last longer than the boosted ones. Auto Farm, they now added a single asset auto vault, which is kind of cool. So if you're a holder of auto, you don't have to LP it. Hyperjump passed the CertiK audit. They've been pending for a while, and as you know, CertiK is backed up. I mean, to get a CertiK audit now would probably take a year, because the premier place to go. And
yeah, it's not really.
what?
It's CertiK is pretty quick.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, you can get it done in like a couple weeks.
That, for example, Swamp took almost a year to get.
I think it depends on how much how complicated your code is also. But yeah, I think that's the main factor.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And lastly, Pancake Bunny, in efforts to decrease the excess supply of Bunny, they decided to discontinue the Bunny Boost Pool on June 7th. So, once again, as you guys have seen in the Daily Digest, I'm really bearish on Bunny after the exploit. I don't think their token price will recover, but of course, all the influencers on Twitter always tweet about it because they have heavy stakes in it. So, of course, don't let my opinion influence you otherwise, but in my experience, I've noticed when a token dumps from over $500 each to like $7, it's very rare for them to recover, truly. So I remain bearish on that, but nonetheless, it's been a much better week, especially for the decrease in flash loans, and I'm very curious to see what ends up happening for NFTs. So, and we also had a very successful educational event last week as well, and I plan on doing a really fun one this week. So stay tuned for that. But besides that, thank you guys.
Thanks for the update on BSC Viper. I think I've seen this NFT focus initiative led by Binance recently too. With if you've gone like Binance.com, they have this like NFT marketplace thing. I also know some pretty big names that are planning to launch like initial NFT drops on Binance very soon. So yeah, we could see maybe this will lead NFT back in the sunlight. I'm not sure, but certainly NFT has been a pretty undercover niche since the pop and then the dump. Eventually will make a comeback, but definitely something interesting to watch because Binance definitely knows that they are market insiders, right? So maybe them doing NFTs is signaling something potentially happening soon with a general
That's
trend.
a good point.
Yeah. Thanks for the update as usual, Viper. Next up, we have I think Mahi from on overview of the Polkadot ecosystem, the latest happenings. And Mahi, just as usual, I know how you like to present, so I guess with each of these topic links here, you can go through it, and I will click into it, and I'll kind of scroll through it and ask questions whenever I think something is interesting. So yeah, Mahi, take it away.
Today I will be recapping news from the Polkadot ecosystem. First and foremost, developmental updates. Polkadot was upgraded to version 0.9.3. This simultaneously upgraded Kusama and Polkadot runtime to 9030 and added a code substitute feature to Polkadot. The full list of upgrades with that is in the GitHub link.
Yep.
But this also set Kusama up for referendum 114, which is important. We'll get to that later.
Mm-hmm.
It is also useful to know that during this time, Kusama was running its shell parachain, which is a featureless parachain with no code attached. On June 1st, West Mint, which is StateMine and StateMint's test parachain, obviously StateMine's from Kusama and StateMint's from Polkadot, it was successfully producing blocks on West End, which made it ready. It was just the stage right before it gets deployed on Kusama. The test went as planned, and so Kusama referendum 114 was passed, which set shell storage to StateMine's Genesis and includes a call needed to upgrade the UMPQ configuration to ensure that teleports from StateMine to Kusama will work properly.
Awesome.
And then right after that was passed on June 3rd, the shell parachain was upgraded to StateMine. After two more referenda were passed by Council on June 3rd, Kusama shell parachain was finally upgraded to StateMine. With this, StateMine became the very first live parachain in the entire Polkadot ecosystem. So this was like a monumental event this week.
Very
right?
cool. Very cool. I like this. I see that you changed your Discord thing to the expect chaos.
Yeah, the first alive parachain on an actual mainnet in the entire ecosystem ever, so which is StateMine. So now the next step is waiting for some parachain auctions to start. And right now what's happening is pre-registration for cloud loans. So projects, namely Moon River by Moonbeam, by Akala, and Sakura by Clover, are starting pre-registration for their cloud loans. And all that information is available in the spreadsheet.
Awesome. Yeah. So for anyone that's interested, just go on. I think the easiest place to find this is probably Kusama's Twitter to follow. And they have this pinned tweet with the latest updates for how the shell parachain is going. And I'm sure upcoming, more crowd loans will be posted here. Yep.
And just a bit about StateMine. StateMine is a common good parachain, which means it did not need to win an auction. It will host fungible tokens, NFTs. It'll also host the USDT stablecoin, CBDCs, and more. Now for some more project news. Open Emoji, which is a NFT game project on Polkadot, has announced an airdrop for EMO NFTs. In this event, participants can claim pre-EMOs that will be converted into EMO NFTs in the future. This event will be held on June 12th. This event comes with the launch of the Open Emoji Battler. Open Emoji Battler is an indie blockchain game led by the community. This will be the first playable game in the Polkadot ecosystem using the Substrate blockchain framework. So it seems like an interesting opportunity. It's also always good to get in some NFT projects early. And Open Emoji has a lot of community backing. And like I said, they're the first playable game in the Polkadot ecosystem using the Substrate framework. More with Polkadot NFTs. BitCountry has partnered with RMRK. These are like the two main names so far. Big Country, the metaverse chain, which allows instance metaverse for individual projects, which then can interact, has committed to supporting RMRK standards for rendering and usage inside Big Country. And RMRK is committed to building and maintaining their own Big Country metaverse to really demonstrate the power of gamified nested NFTs.
Interesting. It's good to see this RMRK app really making a lot of partnerships and being kind of very standard across the Polkadot Kusama ecosystem. This is because we've been, thanks to Mahalinear, we've been following this for a long time. Good stuff.
The Crust Grants program has accepted 5 new projects for May. These are kind of like, I'll quickly preface what the Crust Grant program is, but they kind of pick upcoming Polkadot gems, basically, that will bring a lot of benefit to the community and then give them a fund from the Crust Grants program. So the Crust Grants program, launched by the Decentralized Cloud Fund, rewards projects that add value to the Web3 decentralized cloud storage ecosystem. Grants divide the decentralized storage ecosystem into technology stacks at 6 layers, including chain protocol layer, file systems protocol layer, node strategies layer, development tool layer, and an infrastructure layer, and a blockchain-based applications layer, and user-based applications layer, incentivizing projects in the decentralized cloud storage ecosystem at full strength. So the recipients for the grants for the month of May were Sockbay.io, Clickly, Trust Explorer, Skyway Protocol, and Ice Trays. PokaX, this is another gem I've been looking at. PokaX finished their private sale round. PokaX is a cross-chain trade platform based on Polkadot, which uses Plasm Network to provide higher transactions per second and lower transaction cost. This project is still really early, and there hasn't been any talk about a token yet, but I'll keep you guys updated in Poka Gems if I hear anything else. Fala Network has partnered with Amara. Amara team, together with Fala Network, jointly launched the cross-chain scheme of asset data, MaraLink. MaraLink is released to facilitate the data sharing between Polkadot and other popular public chain projects. Farland will hold a token sale for their FARA token in Red Kite. Farland will officially open seed, private, and public sale rounds on the Red Kite launchpad powered by Polka Foundry. This week, the ChainX halving and the ChainX halving happened. The ChainX halving for the PCX token, of course. They decided, ChainX is like pretty unique. They decided to follow Bitcoin's system of halvings, so it's very similar to how Bitcoin goes about halvings. So the ChainX halving and KCX snapshot have successfully passed without any technical hiccups. KCX would be the token for SherpaX, which again is their Kusama parachain. The airdrop for KCX is snapshotted from the block 2761158. There's more on that in the GitHub link.
Yep.
Lastly, Plasm Network has unveiled their cross-chain virtual machine. Quote from the article, our vision for XVM is to establish a layer of abstraction that allows smart contracts to execute and read storage data from different contract engines, otherwise known as a virtual machine, and languages like, for an example of this, interacting with Solidity dApps written in Ink or vice versa within the same blockchain. Although, and this is my note, although WebAssembly is undoubtedly superior for smart contract execution, completely migrating everything from, say, Ethereum would be tedious. In the meantime, this tool allows Ethereum devs to maintain their workflow, and as a result, Plasma parachains will benefit from the matured Ethereum network and the Ethereum devs' easy migration to Polkadot. So
Yeah.
that's basically all for this week, guys. I think next week we'll see the beginning of parachain auctions, and in the meantime, keep up with the Polka Gems spreadsheet if you're interested in getting into any crowd loans or crowd loan pre-registration opportunities.
Very cool. I just have personally, I have one very good. I mean, just a quick question. Like, what are your thoughts on RMRK and Canaria? Do you think it's through your research, has it been kind of just the like people say, the de facto kind of overall NFT platform play that Polkadot and Kusama are both supporting? At least Kusama right now, right?
Yeah, that's right. Canaria by RMRK, as far as I know, is what they were the first Kusama NFTs, and they continue to develop. Like the RMRK whole project is more developed than any other NFT team on Polkadot and Kusama.
Yeah.
So I think, like, I'm not quite sure what the question was, but I'd say RMRK is the standard. They are the industry leader, and I'd give a close second to Bit.Country. Bit.Country, as I just said, they partnered with RMRK, and their product is actually very unique. Their metaverse project, they're incentivizing just everyday activities through these NFT metaverse things, and they're actually getting integration for their projects. Like they're trying to like stimulate economies in Africa through their metaverse product, which is a very cool idea.
Okay, then the reason why I ask this is because I've been looking at Canaria like since just shortly after Super Founders sold out, and we have been sharing like how you can get Canaria eggs to participate in RMRK's kind of early NFT initial egg sale, whatever you want to call it. And you can still get it, right? And the current so basically, like Canaria is RMRK's way of raising funds to build out their sort of NFT marketplace protocol, probably some sort of launch, kind of like OpenSea, but for NFT native to Polkadot Kusama, right? And then I was initially pretty hesitant on this because like, how are you going to just raise money through NFTs? Like, how do I get my money back and how do I profit from this? But eventually they came out with this RMRK token, which is going to be quite fairly airdropped to the egg buyers, right? So these are directly scaled to the price of the eggs. So for example, right, Super Founders and Founders are sold out right now. But as you can see, Founders were, let's say, if they cost $100, then rare ones are $20. And you see Founders get each Founder egg get 5 times as much RMRK tokens as rare eggs. So there's still opportunities there if you want to speculate on the token, right? And that's why, the deadline to get these eggs is June 30th. So now that, it's been a couple of weeks and you have talked about actually developments in RMRK, I think, I'm actually kind of interested in getting some now. So they have I think their TGE is on, their TGE is July 1st, where these egg holders will get the tokens. But from now until then, you can go on, you can look up like RMRK Canaria and get eggs. And you see here, these limited edition or rare eggs are still kind of claimable. So Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it might be something that might be worth looking into. They are, mind you, they are raising a lot of money. That was initially my concern with it. Was if you look at their tokenomics, their total raise is right. They are I forgot how much they're raising, but it's quite a lot. But like you say, if it is kind of the most developed NFT standard, and they are getting partnerships and utility, and especially like when you said, I think this thing, open emoji NFTs that are launching and doing a part of to how to participate, getting these emo is for RMRK users, right? And then for unique network users, and you say RMRK is the most advanced, then I don't know. I think it's definitely worth looking into. I think I'm potentially going to get some eggs and reconsider kind of how big this platform could be. Maybe comparing it to other tokenized NFT marketplaces, the largest ones, and then trying to see what the market cap differences there is and how the RMRK token could do. But definitely something to watch. Yeah, overall, thanks for the in-depth update, Mahi. I really appreciate you being just so thorough and very, information dense, but in-depth analysis of the Polkadot ecosystem. Like I know you're the guy to go to now for something Polkadot related. So yeah, as always, thanks for the call.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right, so next up on our topic list, we have an events breakdown from Weatherboy. Weatherboy, let's give a brief overview of what's happening in BaconDAO this week.
Hey everyone, hope you're all doing well. I know things can get a bit quiet sometimes, but that's what I'm here for, to try and keep things exciting somewhat. The people that did manage to stick around even after losing a bunch of money can have a little fun, maybe win some bacon. So we did do our meme contest. I am going to announce the winners for that in a second, but first I'm just going to drop in the event chat the link to the recap article we did for Josue's team highlight. You guys know Josue. Make sure you guys give that a check. We're going to be doing each team member over the next few weeks or so you guys can look out for that as well. And without further ado, let's see the official winner of the second BaconDAO meme contest. I gotta say, these round of memes were a lot more exciting for me personally. I love the amount of inside jokes. So here's our winner. Bring back shitcoin chat. This doesn't necessarily mean we're bringing back shitcoin chat, but
yeah, shitcoin chat is the good old days.
The good old days, yeah. But you can see it has its fans.
Yep.
So that's for CTM. So I think CTM is listening. So that's 150 bacon to you, CTM. He's on actually a winning streak right now. So someone needs to dethrone this man pretty soon. And here's our second place. This one was a lot to look at, but when you really take a look, I love this one. We go from shitcoin to bag holders to scammers with mainstream media, techno kings, blockchain, the freed prisoners of the BaconDAO members making their way to knowledge with bacon as the reward. So yeah, I think Wonka loved that one as well. That was his personal favorite. And here is my personal favorite, and I think a lot of personal favorites. For those in trading floor know this. We have.
Oh yeah, this is my favorite too. this is so funny.
It's so good. It's so perfect. Yeah, those in trading floor know that we have Wonka bullish as ever, more bullish than he's ever been. Kern's full on bear, and the neutral referee VB. So it works perfectly. Honestly, it's so perfect.
Yeah.
So that's 150 bacon to CTM, and for Dorap it is 100 bacon, and then for Vegemite it is 50 bacon. So I'm gonna contact each of you guys for that. I hope you all have a wonderful day in that aspect. I have one more thing I just want to talk about here. We recently opened up a new chat which I personally am going to be spending a lot of time in and getting into that area, as I think it's going to be a trend soon. It's actually a crypto gaming chat. So make sure you guys give that a look. We've already had some interesting stuff put in there info-wise. We're talking about D-pets. And I think if we'd been a little bit earlier, it could have been a nice little profit. They were around like 30 to 40 cents per D-pet. Now they're around like $50.
My
So,
DeFi
I don't
pet
know.
is this project?
Yeah, I think it's my DeFi pets or just
Okay.
D-pets. Yeah. It's actually Gameloft is a backer, one of the mobile game
Wow.
giants.
Okay.
So yeah, it's pretty interesting. So make sure you guys check out that chat and just sorry, one last thing. Sorry, I always have a lot to talk about. Sorry, guys. The CS:GO exhibition matches are being formed right now. I'm just getting everyone together. If you do have interest in that, please give me a DM. We're probably going to be doing multiple small tournaments, just getting into that area more. As I know, we're all online, right? Most of us play games, so want to have some fun, right? That's all from me for today, though, guys.
Thanks for the event update, and I think we have a good balance of fun and seriousness in the community. Like every time we do one of these meme contests, there's just it really shows like our community has a lot of culture, and it just comes like, for example, this shitcoin chat. I remember making this channel way back when we were
Yeah.
when we had basically nothing, and it was just, there's just a bunch of shit coins, and people like to talk about them. They like to ape into stuff. So we posted that there, and then I think very early on, I was when Ample Fourth first came out, we were having rebase parties every day when there were positive rebates in the shitcoin chat. Yeah, good old days. I think that was even last summer still. But wow, like someone it's still around to make this meme here, and it's actually people like this meme. It shows that we have had some really long-term members with that's been with us for a long time, and we really appreciate you guys. Awesome. Okay, so moving on to the next topic on our agenda today. Going into just come back to the agenda. So next up we have Hassan going over Crypto 101, and it could be Hassan and Josue together. I'm not sure, but I'm sure you guys have coordinated about who's going to talk. But just feel free to speak up now, and
Sure.
I'll moderate.
Hey everyone. This previous week, Josue and I actually had a really nice conversation about risk management when trading and investing. One of the key takeaways from the conversation that we had is that you can't risk money you can't afford to lose, right? I've seen some people on TikTok show off, like, I have no money in the bank and it's all in the market. And, looking at it from like a realistic standpoint, it's a pretty stupid decision to make, as if the market falls, you've lost a bunch of money. Right? Stonks don't always go up, right? Sometimes they have to always come down a bit. We also talked about how it's pretty important to diversify your money, right? Not only in crypto, but we talked about how people should try and diversify. If you're trading alts, you should try and have a few different alts. But is really correlated through Bitcoin. So it's also important not to be all into crypto, right? At least hold some cash is what I'm saying. It's, if we fall, sometimes we fall good, we fall hard. And we also talked about how it's important to slow down and stay out of alts. Sometimes it's not a good time to hold alts and trade alts. And when Bitcoin's super volatile, alts almost like fall, they pretty much fall to insane amounts. So, it's important to always, don't risk what you can't afford to lose and diversify. And knowing it's a good time to trade. And, this coming week, I plan to discuss DeFi. So, a lot of these, like DeFi, all about DeFi and specific projects that are in DeFi that are pretty popular as well. So, yeah, you guys can come ahead and Thursday, 4 p.m. PS, 7 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. UTC for Crypto 101. And yep, that's pretty much going to wrap it up. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Hassan. Appreciate, honestly, very, very simple, but yet most people don't treat these advise seriously. All they see is like upwards profit, and I've been there very early on in the days, but it's at the end of the day, you could look at how much profit everyone else is making and what you could potentially win, but if you don't actually take home the money because you don't have good risk management, or you're putting that money that affects your emotions because you can't afford to lose it, so even on just a small correction you still get shaken out, then that's kind of your poor execution on otherwise a good trade. So that's why it's one thing to do all kinds of research and analysis on what's hot, what could do well, but if you don't know how to take those trades and positions, then that's on you, right? So while it is important to learn how to do research and kind of get signals and new projects and gems that we pick, at the end of the day, right, all of the people that are able to profit most of them have taken these points to heart, right? Like, for example, myself, I take any trade, I know how much when I look at the numbers, how much it's gone up or down. Doesn't matter if it's something that I truly believe in, even if it's Bitcoin, right? If I'm risking all my money, and if I lose that money, like half of that money, I will go homeless, then obviously I would doubt myself even on Bitcoin, because what if on the odd 5% chance I go homeless, right? That's too risky. So that's why risk management is always very important, depending on what kind of assets you're investing in, and it's so crucial to how you can execute and make good trades play out a good way, and otherwise even poor trades, right, with good timing could do well. Markets always fluctuate. So learn how to manage your risk, right? Don't spend money that you can't afford to lose, not because we want to protect ourselves and say, we don't want you to potentially lose all your money, but by not spending so much and keeping risk management in mind, you can actually make more money than if you just put all your money in as a gamble, because gamblers don't win. So just a quick my 2 cents on that, but always good to repeat. Okay, going back into our curriculum for today. Next up we have Kearns giving his market analysis, and I understand he's a bit bearish right now. I mean, we all have our looks and bias on the market. That's not necessarily a bad thing. We want to consider everyone's positions, and it's always actually I think that's what makes our community good, is we're not an echo chamber, right? Even within our core contributors and analysts, we have people that are bullish and bearish, and we try to find the common ground, and it really sets us kind of unbiased, and that's the good way to put it, because otherwise we would just talk ourselves into trades that we have no control of. So Kearns, if you're here, let's have a discussion on what your outlooks on the markets are right now. Kearns, I see you're in the chat, but maybe you're muted because you're on another call or something. Are you back? Okay, you're back. Hey. Oh, okay, you're streaming.
Hi guys.
Yep. Let me watch your stream
so
as well.
Today, I just wanted to talk a little bit about recovery and bear market plan. So usually, what I do to get the best out of a bear market. So it's gonna be very short. Let's see. Okay, so the first thing is that you need to assume the bear market as early as possible. And the reason why is not because you want to be right about the bear market. It's essentially because of the bear market behavior. I mean, I think you guys have seen how fast that stuff goes. And one of the things is that the bear market tend to spend lots of time on consolidation. For an example, the one we had in 2018, we literally spent anywhere between 216 and 270 days. So in the bull market, you have more time, but the bear don't really, especially on sell-off, you don't really have time to make decision, and that can actually affect your emotion and what you're gonna do on the market. So
Hey,
the first
Curtis,
thing
could you
you
just
need to assume it as soon as possible. So you don't want to be wrong about a bear market. It will hurt you anyway. Okay.
hey,
So
Curtis,
the second, yes,
I can't see your screen.
I'm trying to
Yeah, so I
show
can't
it.
see what you're talking about. Could you just try to share again? Yeah, when you shared earlier, it wasn't completely on there. Yeah, just take your time. Okay, click watch stream. It's still kind of blank. I'm not sure how it is. Oh, okay, it's back. Yeah, good. I think it's maybe when you go full screen, it will go blank. Yeah,
well,
let's just do the
yeah.
slides like this. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So first thing is that you need to assume the bear. And the second thing, you need to do a portfolio evaluation. So during the bull market, guys, some of you have buy based on fundamental, based on different reasons. Some of you are buy because of hype, and it makes sense. It happens to everybody, it happens to me too, and I understand that. But the bear will give you time to do two things. You're gonna be able to evaluate your portfolio and go one after the other, and go about fundamental. Because what happened is that assets with good fundamental, they tend to maintain their value if this is actually a bear market. So you need to go on your portfolio and have a clear view. It's a reality check, I like to say, about your portfolio. So like I said, bear market spend a lot of time on consolidation. For an example, lately the market have been boring, and if this is a bear market, this is probably just the beginning, guys. This is gonna get boring, and it's just the way things are. Now, the third thing you need to know about bear is that buying dips is not always a good idea, because as you can see, the bear can be very intense, especially on sell-off. So usually caught you by surprise, and then next thing you know, we are 20%, 30% down. And the most difficult thing is that bear rallies, they are more difficult to move on the way up, because most people are waiting to sell or to get out of a position. So I did let me show you a little bit. Okay, so I did this for you guys, and this is what I did. I don't know if you can see it. So on my portfolio evaluation, the first thing you need to know is, where are you right now? Are you in a long position? So if you are in a long position, the worst thing is to panic sell. Do not panic sell, because this is actually where you lose the money. What you can do, in my opinion, you need to know what kind of long are you. If you are in a margin, are you in a long position? Are you in a margin long? Okay. So if you are cash, for an example, that's my case. You know that I've been stopped out on Ethereum and most of my long positions, so I'm more in cash right now. So I'm not buying in a sense that I'm gonna hold. I assume the bear. So for me, buying right now, I'm a little bit conservative. I'm not buying right now. So I'm more preparing for shorts, as you can see. Now, if you are in a long, you need to know, are you in a spot long or are you in a margin long? Now, if you are in a margin long, you need to close them all. The reason is simple. Margin depends on what exchange you're using. It's usually expensive. You pay for it, to keep the margin open. And it affects your emotion. And if you are in a long in your margin on a bear market, this is the type of stress you don't want to have. I've been there. It's not worth it, guys. Okay. So if you are in a long and it's a margin position, you're gonna need to close the position right now, take the loss, because if you did assume the bear, okay, like this is your actual position, then you'll probably be able to buy at a cheaper price. It's all right. Now, if you're in a spot position, so you need to go through your portfolio and make sure, is it more shitcoin versus good coin. And the discussion about shitcoin and good coin really depends on you. After reviewing all the project, this is something you do personally. Is it a shitcoin? You need to get rid of them. The reason is, during a bear market, shitcoin tend to take the biggest hit. You will always be able to buy them cheaper. Now, if you are in a spot and you are having good coins like Bitcoin, Ethereum, that kind of stuff, after 40% drop, selling is not an option. You need to hold that stuff long term. Okay, I know that from a bear that might sound a little bit tricky, but you need to hold them. The reason is simple. The bear market is present as being a bad thing, but the reality is there will be price that you will see once and you will never see them again. For an example, 2013 we had $250 per Bitcoin. Bear market 2018 we had Bitcoin $3,000. I'm pretty sure that we'll probably never see those price again, guys. So if you are holding good coin with good fundamental, coins that are known, to always make higher highs on the next bull run, you need to hold them. Now, the last thing is that you need to prepare for accumulation. So the good thing about the bear market is that usually it's short. So plan around between 10 to 12 months. It's not gonna be something that's gonna be like 2 years or 3 years. And even in stock market, bears, they tend to be faster, even if they they wipe out lots of asset. But the thing is that the stress, the feeling, and it's intense. I know that, but it's usually short. So accumulation usually between 70 and 90% drop from all-time high. I got a few shot for you. I'll show you real quick. Okay. So I got a few shot for you guys. So most of the time the transition between a bull to a bear is violent, but the inverse is not always true. So what happened is that at the very end of bear market, there is that moment when people don't really want to talk about Bitcoin.
Yeah.
It happens in 2018, it happens in 2013. It's like a bad dream. People don't want to talk about it. So it's a general feeling, and this is where you want to take action. So you have a 70 to 80% drop on your favorite good fundamental coin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, that kind of stuff. And then there's that moment people don't want to buy. People, it's just literally hate cryptocurrency at that moment. Now, this is probably the best opportunity of buying. They happen at that moment. So even yourself, you might be like, I think it might go a little bit lower, but this is the moment you need to buy. Between 70 to 80% drop, guys. This is where you accumulate. Okay, so during the bear market, you can short if you have access for shorting. If you know how to do it properly, it's a different type of trading action actually. So if you did not take action, you accumulate cash during that period. But when you make it between 70-80% drop, this is where you accumulate. Now, I remember in my first bears, I have friends, they are more stokes. They were having fun about cryptocurrency, like 70-80% is a little bit too much. And I always like to show them Amazon in 2000. That's 94% drop, guys.
Yeah.
So there's no real difference of what kind of bear market we're talking about. Okay, the difference between cryptocurrency and stock market is that usually every time there's a crisis, the crisis affects a sector more than the other. So for an example here, anything related to real estate mall, for an example, I think I'll show you Simon Poverty. They are a real estate investment trust. They own malls. You have big drops because that was the sector that was the most affected by this crisis. But in cryptocurrency, the whole thing goes in the same direction, and they all follow Bitcoin. It doesn't matter if Ethereum is a good project. For an example, Ethereum can come with new development. Just because it's a bear market, you won't really see a pump. So for an example, lately, I'm pretty sure that you've seen that good news do not really affect the market anymore. See what I mean? So when the bear sentiment is there, the fear is actually more powerful, and people they just don't buy. And even those that are bullish, they are more hesitant. So the most important opportunity happen actually at the accumulation zone. So this is where you use your cash to accumulate spot on coin with good fundamental. So that will be the best action to take if you did assume the bear. This is what I am gonna do. Once I make it between that 70-80% all time from the all-time high after the drop. So we are around 40% now. So for Bitcoin, since Bitcoin is a coin with good fundamental, I'm expecting somewhere between 20 to 30% drop again. And I'm probably, even if I don't see any real bull reversal sign, I will start accumulating. So that's all I wanted to share with you guys. This is my overall plan for the bear market. I don't know if you guys have any question.
I think that was. I have some questions, but I think it's a very good overview of, and I think you put it quite accurately. You know, people have their opinions, and nobody knows for sure if we're bull or bear, how long. At least right now, right? But if you do think we are going to a bear market, which anyone's entitled to do so, and you could be absolutely right or wrong, then this is the course of action that you think you are planning to do, and you think makes sense. And I think it's a very good solid plan. Like, don't panic sell, evaluate your portfolio. Shit coins will drop way faster than legit coins, so consider dumping your shit coins and don't be on leverage. All very good tips. And I think the kind of initially I was kind of skeptical on your 70 to 80% estimates, but I think there are some truth to that, because when you showed those charts with the bottoms of the typically being 70-80% down from the top, it does quite it's kind of similar to how some of the mathematical kind of meme lines that people have used to map long-term market tops and bottoms are like. For example, like the logarithmic growth curves. It maps like 3K to bottom in 2018, 2019, and then in 2015 it was like kind of matching here. And the panic sell in March 2020, it very briefly dipped below that, but you see we had tons of buying opportunity at the lower support levels here. So yeah, 70 to 80% from, let's just look at this here, right? 70 to 80% from the top of 60K, like 30, like 40K down, so it was just below 20K, which we'd be right around this range, right? If say we just drop very dramatically right now, right, something like 18 to 20K is about 70% down. So there's definitely some truth to that. So I don't think those numbers just came from nowhere.
Yeah, and one thing is that they happen fast, guys. Like, this is the type of thing that happen and stay for like 2 or 3 days, and you never really see them again. For an example, last year when we had the COVID-19 crisis, we did buy Simon property around $50, but the recovery happened very fast. It's like $135 now. So this is something you need to pay attention. Anytime you are 70%, there's nothing special in the sense that it's only happened on crypto. It happens in every market. Once the bear is there, it just step in and it does whatever it's supposed to do, and then you move up, and then you get the best opportunity, get great discount. So for me, I'm just waiting to buy.
Awesome. I think that's if I were convinced for a bearish outlook, then this is a course of action I would take as well. So yeah, thanks for the market outlook, Currents. Always appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome, guys.
Mm-hmm. All right, moving on to our next topic. We have American Cryptowitz, or Luke, or Luna for some. Okay, I guess it's the Luna chain this time, but going over low cap and layer 2 developments and some potential opportunities and chains and ecosystem to look out for. I'm assuming we're going to see a lot of Luna talk today. That's really good. But yeah, Luke, let's have a discussion.
Yes. So yeah, let's open up with
the week, or yes, let's open up with Bitcoin dominance weekly here. I went ahead and I labeled some lines so everybody could follow along. We've seen for a long time that Bitcoin, like last year, and what was this, last year, and September 2019 to September last year, Bitcoin has respected that trendline support for a long time, and then it took a big upswing up during Bitcoin's rally before taking a big dump to a historical weekly support. And from there, we've bounced back up to the 0.236 fib, and we've been rejecting since. I think ultimately we're going to be going up. We're going to take another bounce from the weekly support, or possibly from our current support range, and then test the weekly trend line and potentially go up from there. But I'm taking it day by day for now, and when we look at the daily, I think we see that there's a lot of uncertainty in this range. Just by looking at the daily candle closes, there's a lot of dojis in this region, and we do have one kind of bearish close, but it's really nothing too convincing. And Bitcoin dominance is printing out of the range a little bit, but it's nothing too convincing to make an action yet. And then when we move on to the 4 hour, we see this wicking in a bit of a better detail. There, we have made a couple closes outside of the range, but again, it's nothing convincing, and this could just be a rounded retest. So I'm just watching Bitcoin and Bitcoin dominance. If there's any Bitcoin FUD, then I expect Bitcoin dominance to take an upswing. However, if Bitcoin continues this boring consolidation in this 30K to 40K range, then I expect lower lows on Bitcoin dominance.
Yep.
And I may take some positions. I may take a few positions on coins, just some select strong performers, or just coins that are talked about a lot recently. And however, I'm currently just sitting back and I'm watching what Bitcoin dominance does. And as soon as I see a clear trend, I'll take a course of action. But for now, I'm holding off.
Yep. Pretty much what I
some news. Yep. Oh yeah. But yeah, just ultimately, it's the safest thing. I don't know if Bitcoin is going to go up or down or consolidate in this range, so I'm just holding off for now.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think that's all we can do, or all I can do, certainly.
Yeah.
And yeah, go ahead.
No, I just nothing really. I was just reading through. Yeah, your analysis text, because I only saw the charts, and yeah, this is what I would say as well. It is kind of looking this. I think the daily chart is somewhat of a pattern that I liked, that I could recognize here. It's kind of a bull flag, but then again, flags, they're kind of a meme until they actually break out. So yeah, and we especially have the support range, right? This green box you drew out, 42% ish, right? So if we break down and retest bearish throwback, then could make lower lows. Otherwise, if we break above like 43%, then we could make higher lows, right? People will say, oh, you're just saying, it could go up or down. That's exactly it, right? So that's why, now is probably not the time to just randomly bet, oh, altcoins we're gonna go into alt season, or alts are gonna die, right? Just stay safe, right? Make your conviction bets if it's something you just want to hold, but aside from that, like just know there's gonna be a lot of swings. So yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, but let's go into some specifics for like farming and staking on other ecosystems.
Yeah. So yeah, just going back to what you were saying, it does look like it's forming a Adam and Eve formation, kind of. which is a V and then a U-shaped formation, or vice versa. But when you do look at the 4 hour, it is looking progressively. It does look like it's progressively getting weaker with all these retests.
Yeah.
So again, it could go up and down. I think what you said earlier is we're not an echo chamber. You'll see oftentimes on other Discords, or especially crypto Twitter,
Yeah.
people will tell you that the bull market is over one day, and then the next day they'll boast about how they bought the dip and that the bull market is right back on.
Yeah.
And then the next 10% dump, they say that they're liquidating all their positions. So you just have to form your own analysis and your own predictions, is what I ultimately think. But being agnostic to price and what's happening, I think, is best. So,
Yeah, definitely. Well said. Yeah.
Yes. So moving on to farming and staking other ecosystems, I did put together a little something for I did have one thing of news before getting onto the farming, and that was Yearn Finance had a fee sharing program that just went out recently, where they shared 50% of their fees with programs projects that use Yearn Finance as a Lego piece. And these projects include Alchemist, which is a project that I've talked about a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Pickle, another project that I've talked about a little bit, and some other contributors. And Inverse, which is a project that I've showed quite a bit. And this is ultimately good for these protocols and the ecosystem that Yearn Finance is building around its protocols. So even knowing that price is down, I do especially see your Inverse Finance and Pickle and Alchemist as a lot more legit now in the space. So I will be potentially entering them with a bit more force if in the next alt season. So this is something to look out for.
Yeah. Have you heard of what Andre Cronje? He made a new blog post this morning. Apparently, he's gonna release like another protocol. Like there are 4 that he's already coded, and he's potentially going to release one, but like without a token. And people are speculating that it will be somewhat linked to Wi-Fi. You see that thread or?
No, I have not.
Yeah, so if you just look up like Andre Cronje on Twitter, and also Banteg, the core dev, one of the core dev of Yearn, basically Andre kind of hinted, or pretty much came out and said he made the blog post that he has new products that he's built, some sort of DeFi protocol. But then you see, like he posted this here, gas prices are a bit earlier than expected. ETA is looking good, won't be using deployer address, right? So he's like, I'm deploying something, but you guys probably can't find it until I announce it. And then he made this kind of blog somewhere, I forgot. Yeah, if you go on his Medium, it'll be there. But essentially he said, he wants to build a new product, but he doesn't want a token on it because his products through like Yearn, when he first came out with it, having a token, people very quickly, it kind of took the product backwards, where people forked the product and came out with more tokens, and it was overly hyped, and it actually damaged his building. This one, or actually no, not that one, but maybe he deleted it, but I think it was a pretty interesting article he wrote. Essentially, he doesn't want to make a new token, but he says he has new products, and so people are speculating something with Wi-Fi having new use case.
I think that makes sense with Eminence and
Exactly, yeah, right. He wanted to make Eminence,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
even before it came live, he couldn't even test it. Right when he was testing it, people just ape into it, and it just turns into a PR nightmare that he can't even release anything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So I think his goal probably there is rather than release a specific token for that protocol, probably just to build up the entire ecosystem and
yeah,
probably
and,
just
and,
try
and you know
to.
he tests things. He released things that are ready and at least functional, not necessarily audited, but fully functional to his standard, and he doesn't need funding because he's built it, right? So, and he's more than rich enough to build that now. He's clearly a builder first. So, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
Maybe,
it's
yeah,
the speculators that come in and that ruin it. So
yeah,
while it does kind of suck for us, there's nothing that we can ape into and capitalize on. I think ultimately it's best for the Yearn ecosystem and Yearn Finance and Andre Correa.
yeah, for sure. Just yeah, continue and let's go through your talk, and I'll try to find the article you posted to share later on.
Yeah. So yes. Okay, so farming and staking other ecosystems. So I talked a little bit last week about. I said that I was farming Define, which is a cross-chain DEX, and I'm going to be selling their governance tokens off because they seem a bit overvalued. Some other ecosystems that I mentioned were QuickSwap. They're currently Polygon's popping off pretty hard, and Pangolin has pretty easy rewards for governance tokens. Like, there's not a lot of pools that you have to move your liquidity back and forth to, so it's pretty easy. Some other ecosystems that I've explored recently, and is practically all I did this week, was I explored Luna, Eldorand, Hecko, and Near pretty, not too extensively, but enough to get a general scope of what's going on the ecosystem and to look out for. So yeah, I'll open up with Luna. Luna is a token that I've seen get talked about quite a lot and shilled quite a lot, and it's one that haven't looked into too much, in all honesty, until recently. They have a pretty strong emerging environment. I think they have the most, according to one post that I post, they have the most total locked-in value out of I think Avalanche, Hecko, and a few other chains. And they only have three protocols on their ecosystem so far. Mir and Anchor are the biggest ones, and TerraSwap is probably the last one.
Okay.
So Mir protocol lets it tracks the price of stocks, and I don't know if it's backed by stocks or if it just tracks the price of stocks. So users can go on and buy like M, so like mirroring AMC. They can buy Tesla, Airbnb, and a bunch of other stocks, and then they can do this directly on DEXs. So they don't even have to interact with the Mir. They can make these swaps on TerraSwap.
Yep.
And ultimately, it's pretty easy if you just want to switch your ETH over for AMC or whatever and ape into AMC, or ultimately for being a new environment, this adds a ton of use case, I think.
It's
Especially
pretty much
for being live
synthetics.
on the main deck.
Yeah, looking at their website, it's a derivative. It doesn't have the backing, but it tracks prices through a decentralized oracle. So in the ideal case, nobody can manipulate that. But basically, synthetics on Terra. Not on Terra, on Luna. Yeah.
But I guess what I'm hinting at is when you look at across all these other spaces or newer environments, Luna with Mir protocol, Luna has a big edge up. I think, especially when comparing them to like Hecko, Eldorand, and Near, and like Avalanche, and just a few others. I think this adds a lot more use case than the prior mentioned.
Are these guys backed by the official Luna / Terra gang, or?
I can't say for sure, but I'm really sure Mirror Protocol is. Yes.
Yeah, it feels like it, right? I think that's kind of the Luna Terra way of doing things. It's like they're like a very develop a closed ecosystem of projects they think make sense. I know for sure Anchor is. TerraSwap, pretty sure. So they're building out like stuff that for sure can compose to each other, and that they're putting all their own manpower to it. You could see how it works.
Yeah, it's a pretty smooth network. They have a wallet just like MetaMask too, so it's real easy to interact with the environment. And it's I mentioned this last week, but they're staking for airdrops. So if you stake, I think it's 25 Luna, you're eligible to receive airdrops. And I think the latest airdrop is Preserver Protocol, and it has something to do with esports and like funding. So not exactly too bullish on it, but it's something to look out for.
Okay.
The next environment is pretty untalked about, I think, and that's Eldorand. Eldorand is the least built up out of these picks. However, Myar is Eldorand's top wallet.
Mm-hmm.
They're currently building a DEX, which is the Myar exchange, and they are currently airdropping their governance tokens to eGold holders, which is Eldorand's native token.
Yeah.
So if you just hold eGold, then you will be able to receive airdrops the protocol will snapshot your address, and then later will airdrop you tokens when the exchange goes live. You will have to claim these tokens within 30 days, but this is pretty standard with these airdrops, I'm real sure.
Yeah.
So after that, there will be a Myar's launchpad, and there will be NPAD tokens going out to eGold holders also. So there's a big incentive to hold eGold right now, even knowing that it is a newer environment and there's no working projects. I'm pretty...
yeah, I mean, it's token, right? It's like,
it
sounds like free money. People will make it free money, and then it's at least there's the airdrop. Airdrops are, when it's official airdrops like this, it's definitely useful. There's some opportunity there, definitely.
Yeah, and I kind of want to capitalize on these ecosystems early and just get in early and one of these is going to do 100x, and the rest might die off, but at least I got that 100x. So next would be Hecko. Hecko was the one chain I could not get in on in time. It's I probably can't pronounce this right, but Huobi's.
Yes. Yeah.
It's their chain. It's similar to BSC. However, Hecko is not a copy of ETH, and Hecko bolsters some impressive transaction times, as well as they're really efficient on fees. So they're not just a copy of Ethereum. They're something else completely different. And Unilayer is currently building this ecosystem, and if you hold 50 layer, then you will be eligible for airdrop. Also, MonkeySwap just surpassed, I think it's $80 million in liquidity now.
Wow.
So they are growing pretty quickly. However, it's a pain in the ass to get on the chain, so I think that's the reason why their liquidity is growing so slow. Last week I talked...
Yeah, go ahead.
And last week I talked a little bit about Near, and Near is a protocol that I don't see many people talking about. Same thing with Elrond. However, Near is steadily growing and seeing adoption among both NFT creators and DAOs alike. And Near probably has the most functional protocols out of these 4 picks. However, Near isn't doing nearly the same volume as Hecko or Luna. So I think Near is something to watch out for, but ultimately we want that mass adoption to make that money. So even though that they do have the most protocols and the biggest environment, there's no one going onto the network so far. So it is something to note. And they're probably their main protocol is Reef Finance. They currently have a AMA DEX, a AMM DEX on Reef, and they're building some more protocols on top of their to their dashboard. However, Reef currently does not have a governance token, and I would speculate that when the protocol starts picking up some more, people that have used the protocol will probably be airdropped a token, or may be airdropped a token. So, I would, if you're interested in Near, then I would implore you to jump on, use Ref Finance, my bad, and make a swap or two so you're eligible for any user airdrop that may happen down the road. And that's all it for farming and staking.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to elaborate on anything or ask any questions?
I mean, I have my picks among these. I think their approaches are very different, right? Like, I think fundamentally speaking, Luna and Near are very strong because these guys have been building since the bear market. Hecko, they kind of just spun up after BSC, so they can iterate very quickly because the worst things comes to worst, like they just abandon project in their exchange base, but that's good and a bad. Elrond, something lies in the middle, I think, somewhat. I don't think they're technically as strong as Luna and Near, but they are a bit more marketing heavy. They like to partner with a lot of even smaller projects. You're not going to see like Near partnering with like some DeFi thing on Ethereum that's doing an IDO, but Elrond would gladly do that. And that's what I've seen. And Luna won't do that either. Luna is like very closed system. If we build something, at least it matches their brand, right? It's like we're like the global financial fast chain DeFi stuff like that, with Anchor, with TerraSwap, but yeah, and there's good and bad among these four. Overall, definitely. I think something you said with you wanting to get into potentially a new ecosystem that could 100x. I'm not. I think from a pure like trading perspective, that might not necessarily happen. It might be the case that like just because something is small doesn't mean it. Like even if you have, let's say, 10 different chains, one of them is like super big, the other 9 is like small, there might not be one of the 9 that does 100x. It might just be all 9 die off and the one does a 10x, the one that's already the largest. Typically that's usually the case. Like that's kind of a myth in trading where people will say when something is expensive or cheap, like fundamentals, right? But usually, let's say you compare, I think a good example is maybe Solana, or maybe you compare Luna to Hecko. Hecko might never pick up. Even though it's small, it doesn't mean it should grow to like something that this small will grow to the same size as these other chains. So certainly could happen, but I guess what I'm trying to say is I myself, I'm not necessarily focused on looking for something that's small and saying, okay, because it's small, it's undervalued. No, it has to be, for example, if something that has everything that Solana or Luna has, but only is 100 million market cap, then it's undervalued. But if it's much less, like they're not as strong, but they are small, then probably they will stay small. So just kind of what I'm, my 2 cents is, it's percentage growth, right? Like something growing from 100 million to 1 billion versus 1 billion to 10 billion, you make the exact same amount of money. So yeah, we don't necessarily have to hunt for really small stuff. But if it's small and at the same time just as strong as the super big ones, realistically speaking, then that's a good opportunity. Yeah, just my 2 cents. It's probably not even relevant to what you were talking about, to be honest.
I completely agree with what you're saying. I just to be clear, I'm only throwing a little bit of money at each of these chains, checking them out, doing a little bit of farming, participating where I can to receive my airdrops and to check everything out. But ultimately, I'm just like everything else. I'm trying to be agnostic to all these until there's a clear winner, and just trying to get my participation airdrops.
Yep, that's the
and farming.
Awesome.
Anyways, moving on to layer 2. Arbitrum is a layer 2 that has kind of gone under my radar recently. As most of you guys know, I am a Polygon fanatic, and have been talking about Polygon a lot. But Arbitrum has seen a lot of adoption here recently.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, Arbitrum is a optimistic rollup for Ethereum made by Off-Chain Labs. Both Arbitrum and Optimism seem pretty close to being rolled out. However, in late May, Arbitrum opened its doors to the first cohort of developers, and they've seen some pretty influential names jump on board, starting with MC Dex, which is Monte Carlo Dex.
Yeah. And
then I think they were quickly followed by Uniswap had a vote on Arbitrum, and Sushi since followed up, joining on, and same thing with Dodo, and a few other big names after that. And Sushi's vote did pass to join Arbitrum. Okay. I think they've already deployed on their testnet.
Yeah.
You gonna jump in there?
I think Arbitrum, from what I know from my brief, like Arbitrum and Optimism are, I think both are doing very similar things. Optimistic roll up, but Optimism was supposed to roll out in June, but they're kind of delayed to at least July, and that's why some of the core Ethereum DeFi ecosystem, I guess, plays have jump ship to Arbitrum. I'm pretty sure Uniswap and Synthetics Chainlink will still be on Optimism as well. They were very early on supporters, but yeah, I do have some opinions on how it compares to Polygon and other existing layer 2s, but let's save that for after. So yeah, let's talk about how it compares.
I would love to hear your take. So that's perfect. For those who want to invest, Arbitrum does not have a token, so there's no opportunities for Arbitrum. So don't go buying tokens on Uniswap or PancakeSwap. There's no play here. So yeah, my next section of this is titled Polygon Killer, and I don't think Polygon has something to worry about with Arbitrum. Arbitrum has a lot of strong big players coming onto the scene. However, Arbitrum will only offers one layer 2, which is Optimism, while Polygon's future SDK will offer not only their native parent-child chains, but ZK rollups, Optimism, and Validium, and therefore Optimism would be more of a L2 aggregator. So I don't think Polygon has too much to fear. However, again, I'm watching the market as it comes, and Arbitrum is definitely some strong competition to watch out for Polygon. That's all I really have to say about this. So I would love to hear your thoughts, Dennis.
Yeah. So I think there's some core distinction, even though Polygon does support all kinds of layer 2 scaling solutions. Optimistic rollup is definitely easier for these core infrastructure, somewhat infrastructure building blocks of Ethereum that are these projects that are big enough to migrate. So like Uniswap, Chainlink, Synthetics. They have all said that they wanted to do Optimism for sure very early on, like this way of scaling. It's because it's even more native to Ethereum than something like Polygon. Because with Polygon, you still have this other chain, and let's say you want to develop, you want to migrate Uniswap to support Polygon, then you have your mainnet Ethereum contracts, Uniswap contracts. You would deploy that on Polygon as well, which is another chain by itself, and then you have a bridge to bridge your tokens. But with Arbitrum and Optimism, this way of scaling called optimistic rollup, it's much more closely related, where I'm not well versed in this technically, like how to integrate a smart contract to support it enough to say, but essentially you don't necessarily even have another chain. Instead, it executes transactions like more efficiently within Ethereum itself by just rolling up a bunch of transactions together and batch executing. And maybe this is done just with some core optimism related smart contracts on Ethereum. And it's also easier to have native support. For example, lots of wallets, Coinbase Wallet, for example, came out and said they wanted to support Optimism and optimistic rollup. And let's say, I think MetaMask will likely support this way of scaling as well, which means when you want to use Polygon, you have to connect to a new kind of provider, set up your MetaMask to switch to Polygon network, switch to BSC, etc. But with Optimism or optimistic rollup, maybe in a new version of MetaMask, it just comes with it, and you don't even need to switch any networks. These kind of infrastructures that just work on it make it so that it's and also some of the core developers of this optimistic rollup way of scaling come from the Ethereum dev team. So that's why it has been kind of perceived this as the easiest and most efficient, not necessarily most efficient or fastest, but easiest way and most closely integrated way with Ethereum to scale. So, and that's, I think, the main reason why these big core Ethereum projects chose it to scale. I don't know, we'll see. We really haven't seen one of these being fully rolled out. Arbitrum is definitely the first optimistic rollup to really gain traction. Let's see how it will play out. Maybe, if it were really that fast to integrate, that easy to integrate, maybe, month of June, Arbitrum says, okay, we're going live, and then next month, just pure speculation, right? If it were that good, we could see wallets just coming out and saying, oh, this is supported, and you just update your wallet and it works, right? You update your MetaMask and it supports it. and then Uniswap comes out and says you don't even need to switch your network; it just works, and the user experience is actually that good that it beats out switching to BSC, switching to Polygon, then it is actually good. But if it's the same sort of experience and this where you have to tweak it a bunch, you have to use a bridge, and you have to, and it's the same speed, then it won't be anything significant. So we'll see. We'll see from an actual user standpoint, but it's definitely very interesting.
Wouldn't they still have to bridge? Or
I don't know actually. I'm not sure. We haven't seen it in kind of action, right? Unless there's some example already.
So, like, if hypothetically, if Polygon does roll theirs out, their optimism roll ups,
yeah,
then anyways, it should have the same easy onboarding and the no bridging and whatnot also. When it comes to using a lot of these environments, however, there is an easy option to swap over your MetaMask.
Yeah, you can yeah, it's like add a BSC to your thing where you click it and it adds, right? Yeah.
Yes, so there are those issues, but I think those are, for anybody who wants to get on the network, I think it is pretty simple now compared to just a few months ago. More simple.
I think that's what I mean too. It's like, Polygon and other chains, they're integrating, and they're getting very good. So optimistic rollup, it says it's good. There's a lot of support, but really, I think we're yet to see how good it is. Maybe it is just that good that we just go through. It's the same flow. We go on. Yeah.
I jumped on the testnet, and it doesn't let you mess with the gas fees too much. But for a swap on the Monte Carlo DEX on testnet, it costs over $1. So I still have some concerns about scaling, and I don't think that how the gas features are completely flushed out yet. But if Optimism reaches its full potential, I think it will only scale to 100x, while Polygon does more, does better than 100x. So I think going down the road, Polygon has a little bit of a leg up in efficiency. But that's just my final thoughts.
I think we're here to make money, right? So if that is the case, I would be very interested in how optimistic rollout will be overhyped. Maybe it is. If that is the case, then Polygon is undervalued. We'll see. I'm really keen on trying it out and comparing and seeing how the user will react.
Yeah, I'll send you something in the layer 2 chat. And,
awesome.
Yeah. Anyways, that's all from me today, guys. So have a good day, have a good Sunday, and I'll see you in the Discord.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks for the vocabulary to digest, Luke. It's been very, very, very useful, and always it's very pragmatic the way you analyze it. I think it's a good overview. Next up, we have Bitcoin and altcoin analysis from Wunka. Wunka, can you, if you're still here, just feel free to take it away. I know we've dragged this on for quite a while today, so it must be late for you. Let's just get going, and I'll let you take it away, and I'll quickly go to the bathroom, and I'll be back in like 2 minutes. But I still have headphones in, so I can hear exactly what you're saying.
Thank you. Hello, guys. I hope you're doing all well, and thanks for jumping in on the Sunday call. Let's just get straight to the business. At this point, I'm sending the charts and events content. We've been following pretty closely the fractal that I have. I'm expecting a good bounce in the coming days. It's not due to the fractal, but due to the nature of this consolidation and the waves that I see there. And it's been pointed out a lot of times that triangles and consolidations, they are literally meat grinders. You don't want to be trading there unless you know how to trade it. VB shared a good strategy on that. It's called the SFP, trading the SFP pattern, which is basically longing on the support and shorting on the top. Moving on the daily, I see the ascending triangle. I know most of you, we've already discussed that. And the way you want to use triangles are the following. If you see bull traps and bear traps, taking into consideration the wicks, I mean, then you want to do it from body to body. If you don't see bull or bear traps, then you just want to do it from the wick to wick. But this is, let's call it special case, because we have bull trap above 38, 37, but we don't have bear traps here. Therefore, I'm mixing the body to body from wick to wick to see the triangle. And all it comes down, guys, it's not about how you draw it, it's about how you see the triangle. What does the price action is telling you? Is the price action telling you that we are ascending, neutral, or descending? Yeah, if we zoom in, not much, by the way, not much has changed from the last week weekly call. Therefore, my analysis today are pretty short, pretty simple.
Yep.
This is the 4-hour time frame, and I keep it here the ascending triangle as well, because we have a lot of because that's what I see on the daily, and to me the daily is the one that determines the trend. Therefore, my entry is around 35,000. My stop loss is at 34,000, and the red boxes are the take profit. Now, it doesn't mean that we're gonna get easily there, but it means that this is what I see on the price. And to be honest, guys, before that's it for the Bitcoin. But before going into Ethereum, I want to tell you what I think right now. And all I think right now is how I am going to handle the FOMO that is going to come. Yeah, we have some bears in the group, and that's good. It balances out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good balance anyways, right? But my main concern right now is not how to we will make money. The FOMO that is gonna come, you'll see. But the part that concerns me is how are we going to preserve that money, where to take profits. And it's gonna be cracker, guys. Well, let's not rush in that. We'll see. For the Ethereum, we've entered consolidation. I expect this to be a triangle. Some eliticians will call it failure waves there, here and there, but it's just simply a consolidation. And when you have a third wave extension, like we have right now, usually the fifth and the first wave equal each other, and if you measure it, the target lays around 18,000. Therefore, I'm mentally already prepared for the numbers that I'm sharing, but it's gonna be really hard, at least for me, to deal with the emotions and the FOMO that I'm gonna feel. I will want, like, like it's like in all the bull runs, you're gonna feel so much FOMO. Oh my God, this is going to the moon, here and there, but just stick to the plan, guys. That's why it's so important to have a plan. When to cash out, when to buy, when to sell, everything. The plan is the number one thing you should do before investing. That's for the Ethereum, what I'm expecting maybe this year or Q1 of 2022. If we zoom in on 4-hour chart on Ethereum, we can see, I clearly see an ascending triangle here.
Yeah.
And in terms of waves, I'll also go in there, but you guys know I had a long Ethereum from 2300 and I closed around 2700. And why did I do that? Because I'm not sure about the waves. I have two possibilities. One is saying that it's gonna go up, and the other one is saying that it's gonna go down. So why forcing it? I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm gonna go for another trade.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but in general, I expect Ethereum to consolidate a little before doing anything crazy like it did. This is the wave part, and there are two possibilities. That this, you can see I have ABC already placed in, guys. I'm posting charts, by the way, once again in events content,
We'll see,
and
yeah.
also for the ones that are watching live stream, you can see it on the VB stream.
Yeah.
I see clearly 5 waves down, and I can call it also ABC down correction, and we are already in an impulse 1-2-1-2 of the third, and we're gonna go higher. But since I know that this is only fourth wave, I expect it to be a triangle. Therefore, the ABC and where you see the C point is for me it's actually A point, only wave A. So I'm giving it time, guys. Triangles are notorious beasts. They will drain your energy. You don't know when it's done. So therefore, it's really important that you identify the trend and you trade with the trend. You can of course take the risk. Yeah, I mean also longs, but I'm willing to lose here. So that's actually a good point, guys. Thing is that in trending, it's not about to be correct. It's about making money, and to be successful, it's about willingness to make mistakes. So for now, I'm leaving Ethereum in the triangle. I'm not looking forward to see any major moves from Ethereum. It's just gonna be up, down, up, down. A lot of people are gonna get burnt here. I also have one more thing, Aru, and this is Ada Cardano. And let me explain why I'm sending this out.
Mhm.
Imagine, and this is very much possible, that my wave count on Bitcoin or on Ethereum are incorrect, and we actually topped out already in macro third wave. I'll show the chart later what I mean with the macro third wave. But I see that on most of the alts, they finished the third wave, not the macro, but the primary one, so the lower degree. Therefore, the alts, I also have like, I'm sending only ADA, but most of them are in this formation that they picked the third wave only. This was the best part to trade, honestly, guys. This was the best part. The third waves are the best part to trade.
Yeah.
But it's fine. There are a lot of third waves, inside, outside, in bear market or bull market. And my target for ADA lays around $20. I know it sounds a little crazy, guys, but fibs, if you know how to use them, they don't lie. Also, I've used time analysis on. You can also use Fibonacci with time analysis, and I expect ADA to make major moves around September. Until then, I think ADA will be in that triangle. I don't know if it's gonna be triangle, but that's what the Ellioticians take it as a bias, right? That wave 4s, they are usually triangles, because wave 2s are sharp corrections, and the rule of alternation will hold. And I also want to say something about the rule of alternation, that when we enter the bear market, it's not going to be like 2017 or from 2018 to 2019, because the rule of alternation says that if the one is sharp, the other one should be shallow, and it will hold. So once the bear market kicks in, I don't expect Bitcoin to fall more than 50% in value. And just as a quick note, how did I derive the target of $20? Well, usually, right? The third wave is always the extended one in the crypto.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Therefore, you take your fib extension from low of wave 1, you put that second point on high peak of wave 3, and the third point on the low of wave 4, and I am assuming that wave 4 has bottomed. It's just gonna be consolidating, but we won't see lower low on ADA. Therefore, I get the extension that the one-to-one relationship between fifth wave and the first wave is at $20. So I'm gonna wait for that. And it's not, I'm not saying that it's gonna happen after in the next bull, because it's gonna happen in this bull. And also somebody asked me about the Ripple. I did quick chart about that, and Ripple is lagging so much waves, guys. You don't understand. Ripple, literally, I saw Ripple is where Bitcoin was before breaking 20,000. This is mind blowing to me. That's why I'm so bullish on it. Because I'll try to send it out in the Bitcoin update, but Ripple is lagging so much waves. I just cannot comprehend that. And I believe that this wave 3 will hit at least, I don't know, I know it sounds crazy, but it's gonna hit at least $25.
Yeah. No, go ahead. Keep going. I'll let you finish.
That's it for me, VB. As I said, not much has changed from last week's call, and your yesterday's live update on the triangle was pretty like insightful and deep. So at this point, I'm just in long, waiting for the third wave advance. And
yeah, I think I'm just going through the charts here. I think I think your early wave count and the fact that you consider both cases of whether we are still in. Just look at this Ethereum 4 hour. I think this is a really good example. So let me try to take a screenshot here. So we have kind of two scenarios, right? We have potentially, let me draw in blue, maybe like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? That's A. Yeah. And then like maybe we're in B. In that case, we're still a little bit further, right? Or the other case is like A, B, C something, and then this is like this. So I think the point to watch is like we have this triangle, and for me, myself personally, right, if we do something very significant like this, then maybe on this retest I'd be a little bit comfortable at around 3,000 to say we have completed the correction. But right now it's really hard to say. We could very easily revisit down here, not necessarily break this low. I think horizontal levels around 2K is very key, and I don't think we will necessarily, even with like, if this is A, this is B, and we need another C, I don't think C will be much lower than B here, if any. But what are the chances of this being complete and we just go up, or we need another C wave down? I'm not one to say. I think we have very equal chances. And that's why, something like that. Okay, and then I think pretty much similar thing on Bitcoin with this triangle. Just don't get chopped up, right? Like wait for the clear trend, and then we can decide. In terms of, go ahead.
So sorry I interrupted you. It was with regards to the Bitcoin. I wanted to say, and I forgot, that usually wave 4s, that's for those who practice Elliott wave trading with me, guys. Usually wave 4s, they retrace in the lower degree wave 4, and we have exactly that region. I'll also post it somewhere.
Okay, I see what you mean here.
Yeah,
right. This
because and if you see the ending diagonal in the fifth wave, they all like 99% of the time to the lower degree of the wave 4.
Yeah.
That was what I just wanted to say.
Makes sense. Else. Yeah. and something I know from reading in Alley Waves, just very briefly, is like a typically, if we have one of the longer term charts, maybe this one with ETH, typically like wave, because Alley Wave is very much about like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ABC. What are the higher probabilities of each wave being like easy or difficult to trade, and like do they usually overextend, or do they correct very clearly or not so clearly? And usually like wave 2 correction is a little bit clear, and wave 4 corrections are very rough to trade. Like wave 4 is usually very complex. So yeah, that's why like it also fits into our what we're looking at, which is this chop what we're seeing right now. Like if you're trying to trade in wave 4 to predict the bottom, that's not gonna happen. It will throw you off all kinds of ways. So yeah, another thing to watch. That's useful, at least to me, from my basic understanding of Alley Wave, is like if this is wave 4, it's like wait for it to finish before taking action, like long-term action. So and in terms of XRP, ADA, I think ADA is following, is hanging on to the general altcoin trend quite well, right? It's not lagging in waves, which is good. So it's sort of representative of how altcoins are doing. XRP, even though it hasn't really performed that well, it doesn't always necessarily mean that it is undervalued. It might just mean that it's going to fall behind this rally, this bull. So I don't know. Like I think maybe this is a good segue to bring up some charts. Like for me, to really start to see that if a coin is undervalued versus if it's just weak, I think we need to see a confirmation. Like XRP, maybe on like even weekly. What? This is Bitstamp. Okay. Yeah, all-time high here from 2018 is like $3. We're right now like under 1. So, and especially I think it's XRP versus Bitcoin. It's way off from the all-time highs with respect to XRP versus Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And it's looking very bottom out. Now, that could mean that it's just going to underperform the rest of the altcoin market, like within this. There are some levels there, right? With this,
I believe the catalyst for Ripple will be the IPO. If they do the IPO, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like we have this kind of resistance here, 4,000 sats that we failed to break. Like it was support here in summer 2017, support here in the bear market. Then we broke below it, and last November we tried to break above. We failed with the lawsuit. This time around, we still failed to break above. So I think it's really key to break above here. People will I think something we could it could be useful for us is if Ripple XRP is going to catch up to the rest of the altcoin market, then even when it breaks above here, so like it makes another even 2x from here, it's still cheap if it can confirm an uptrend. But that doesn't mean that right now during these levels I think it's a good buy, because when it's within this range, like it's been here for so long, almost 2 years now. Yeah, almost exactly 2 years. So it might never break this range, but if it breaks, it's undervalued. That sounds counterintuitive because if something is potentially undervalued, why would you buy it? Why would you not buy it a little bit earlier? It's because we need to confirm that it could get back to these high levels that are with respect to Bitcoin and the rest of the market. So that's on the Bitcoin chart, looking at around 4,000 sats, and XRP to dollar chart. Let's maybe look at Binance here. What is that? What? This is a long left. Yeah. Whoops. Yeah. Why are there like an X there? I think I would be keen on longing the retest of all-time high. Like if we break above $3, we get a retest of all-time high. I think this will confirm a new trend, something like that. With like a something like that. Because there's no such thing as too cheap or too expensive. It's all about if the trend is there, and yeah, definitely something to keep in mind. Because like, if it breaks above all-time high around $3, comes back down to test 2.7, that's essentially longing ETH at 1.4K, right? Like when it breaks above 1.4 and it's retesting 1.4, everyone was saying, "Oh no, like it's just broke all-time high. Why would you buy here?" But in hindsight, that was the perfect opportunity because that's when the actual run-up starts. So we could see that happen on XRP. But it has to happen before I'm actually comfortable jumping in. Yeah, just my 2 cents there. But yeah, thanks for the update, Wonka. I don't want to take any more of your time. It has been very insightful overall.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, BB.
Yeah, thanks for that. Just yeah, feel free to jump off, and I'll close off the call with kind of my overall analysis, what I'm looking at, just building on what we had since yesterday. Yeah, I see someone on the YouTube chat is already flooding for a while. Value should be 0, XRP should be 0. Like, yeah, whatever, man. Like, it's one thing to say, you know, it's going to be $100 tomorrow. That's overvalued, right? But when the trend is there, you ride the trend, and when the trend is not there, it's going to stay very, very much still and not have any opportunities. So yeah, it doesn't benefit anyone to be fundamentally so strong on, oh no, I'm so bearish on this, and like, yeah, I like. Don't get me wrong, I hate the XRP army because they tell you that like in this prolonged bear market, when there was no sign of reversal, we're just making lower highs, lower lows. They tell you it's going to be $100, but and then when it actually breaks out, everyone that would have been okay with this have been like just driven away by their salt. So yeah.
By the way, BB, tell me one project that has that of a strong community.
True. Yes. True. Yeah. So it's. What am I trying to say? I don't like to be showed by the XRP army on like random like price targets that's clearly not going to happen like this week, right? Because if you don't tell them it's going to move like immediately, they get mad. I don't like talking with them. But if I purely look at from the outside, and I'm not a, you know, I don't need them to agree with me or need to convince them of anything, then yes, it's a good thing to have a fanatic following. So in that side, it's good. But I think people do need to separate themselves from, right? Like when you analyze XRP, you can look at, oh, XRP has such a good fanatic community. That's a good thing. But That doesn't mean you listen to the fanatic community and whenever they tell you to buy, you go all in. That's not a good strategy, right? So their strategy is not good. You need to look at the charts. You need to look at actual fundamentals, technicals. Look at price action. Have a controlled stop loss, take profit. Look at when the trend is actually starting, right? So it doesn't matter what XRP Army is telling you. When it's clearly in a downtrend like this, you don't buy. But when it breaks up, right, and trending up, it's starting to be good. And in my case, I think breaking above the all-time high here could be a start of a new uptrend. I'm more than happy to buy in then. But yeah, don't take the XRP Army for their blind kind of all-in strategy, but do see that they are good for price action. However, note that XRP Army themselves don't actually make money. They don't profit from being all in XRP with all their money. They are paid to do that. They are literally paid, most likely by Ripple Labs, to just show in this way of just brainless FOMO and hopium. They don't actually need to all in XRP to make money. They get paid cash to do that. So once you understand that, it might not be a bad thing. But just don't trade randomly, right? Have a strategy is what I'm saying. That's my view on XRP, I think. I'm lagging a little bit. Anyways, wow, my PC's kind of lagging here. But let's go into a bit more. I guess we can go straight into Q&A for today. Wow, I'm really lagging here. Wonder if I can... Just let me know, guys, if you can still hear me properly or if I'm just completely cut off. Maybe we've been off for a bit too long. Oh yeah, my laptop's dying. So it's probably on low power mode now. Okay, then I guess no Q&A for today.
Maybe we're losing your voice.
Yeah, you're most likely losing my voice right now. Okay. Yeah, I think that my computer's cutting off here because we've been on for too long.